What's going on, guys? It's Brahma Gandhi, back with some more Choices That Matter, and the sun went out. And when we left off, we were going to Italy. We got in a plane crash. I tried to save people. I passed out from smoke inhalation. And I woke up naked in a hospital, and my nurse is part of the 100th day. So now I'm getting Sharon and a scientist from Indonesia, Petrus, to help me get out. So, yeah. As I obediently followed orders, I saw a message flash silently onto Modi's screen telling me that Sharon had been informed of my predicament. I just hoped she and Petrus were alright wherever they were. There was little I could do except wait for my rescuers, so I did so graciously, reading a newspaper article about the collapse of several governments in the previous 48 hours, and another informing me that Brad and Angelina had secretly gotten a quick divorce. The world was falling apart. And that it was. Wow. Wow, they done got a divorce. I heard a wet thumping noise from my window, and when I got up to look, I saw birds hurling themselves at the building, windows, bricks, concrete, and all. Not just one idiot bird, not even one group. Dozens of different birds watching the rest smash into the glass and fall, and then doing the exact same thing. I backed away from the window and drew the curtain before the window smashed. The birds didn't stop. It was as if the birds were trying to take down the building by sheer determination. I shivered. You better get back in that bed. Then I heard the unspeakably obviously cheerful tones of Sharon as she told a nurse she was determined to see her favorite cousin, me. Yay! She's here. She and Petrus swept inside arm in arm, grinning with delight at their deception. Sharon perched on the edge of my bed. You really are hopeless without me. So true, I said. She flashed me one of her happy-go-lucky smiles, and my mouth fell open. Her eyes were yellow. Sharon! Sharon! No! Did they get to her? Or am I still asleep right now? Am I dreaming all of this? Oh God. $200 for these, she said. Reckon your company will reimburse me for the cunning disguise. God. Absolutely, I said. She produced a set of scrubs. I was going to wear these as well, but I think they'll do better on you. You want them? Nah, let her. She'll. Sharon enjoyed playing a cult member a little too much. Okay, way too much. We seemed to be surrounded by golden-eyed Italians, and it was Sharon's dearest wish to give each one a nod or a slap on the back or a painfully unironic fist bump. At last, we were out of the hospital, and I breathed a sigh of relief, only to see Sharon continue her bizarre performance until we were booked into the Plaza Hotel and the Do Not Disturb sign was on the double-locked door. Petrus exploded into laughter. You're half crazy, he said to her. Why didn't we meet earlier? Hey! Petrus. I waited until Modi had thoughtfully scanned the room for bugs before I spoke. Things are bad, I said. In Italy more than most places. Sharon gave a shrug. At least it's not too cold here. Canada's an icy pole. New Zealand sheep have all died of exposure. There are baby penguins freezing to death in Antarctica. What? And birds here trying their best to knock down entire buildings, I said, making a mental note to check on Etienne. But you know Santiago's building's a stronghold here. Sharon shrugged again. He's not so tough. Ron. I swallowed hard, reminding myself that Sharon was the type to pack extra sunblock after days of unlimited darkness. As if reading my mind, she gave me a marginally less sunny grin. That kid in Egypt, Yumi. I saw him on YouTube or something, saying not to lose the light. Bit late for that, I muttered. He meant metaphorically, he said, probably. At least that's what his handler said. He has a handler? I asked, feeling a stab of pity for the kid. Sharon nodded vigorously. Better than a pitchfork mob, don't you think? I made a non-committal noise. If the sun comes back again, I'll happily join his optimism cult. In the meantime, I still think we should find that astronaut, or more specifically, the cover-up surrounding him. Petrus brightened visibly. I did a few journalism classes once. Shall we just interview his family and see what happens? Sure. That ought to do something. Once the adrenaline wore off, the escape from the hospital left me aching and exhausted. Sharon and Petrus were a little too enthusiastic in the desire to monitor my recovery from the plane crash, but it was nice to let someone else worry about things for a while. Petrus insisted on buying a full tailored suit in order to look like a proper journalist. I didn't have the heart to point out that most journalists couldn't afford tailors. He was having so much fun, and he was getting to know Rome. I encouraged Sharon to go with him, if only so that she didn't get bored and do something that got us kicked out of the hotel. She smuggled in several cans of paint and changed the room to canary yellow while I slept one night, but I had a feeling that was her version of restraint. Meanwhile, Modi had discovered the joys of YouTube and had about as much taste as a 14-year-old who was yet to discover internet porn. Yes. Teacher, I have new sets of videos for you to watch. Is it more cats dancing? I asked, because I really... Did you disapprove of my previous collection? No, I said. It was very amusing, but I don't think I appreciate the innate variety like you do. Whatever. You stop saying whatever to me like that. Please, Modi, just show me. I'm sure you chose this afternoon's YouTube clips very carefully. Just one, but it's highly compelling evidence. It seems one of the presidential candidates left the race due to his fear of drawing Santiago's attention. Oh. Really? I said, and the video shows proof? You do not believe me. I automatically put up my hands and surrendered, forgetting Modi was on my wrist. It's not that I don't believe you, Modi, it's just the internet. The internet is highly reliable, teacher. It's an excellent source of learning and information, I said carefully. Whatever. You don't have said that how many times now? You said that 3 times. I sighed, wishing Modi didn't have the backup RAM to know if I simply switched it off. Once I realized that Petrus and Sharon were waiting for me to cheer up before getting back to work, I insisted we began. After a few dead ends and despite a growing paranoia about Italy's GoldenEye citizens, we finally found Luca Parmigiano's sister, Rosa. She was willing to talk. We met her at a public cafe that I presumed was close to her house. She was easy to spot, an overweight woman pushing back masses of black hair between sips of her cappuccino. We introduced ourselves and sat at her table, where we asked a series of softball questions about Luca and Rosa's childhood rivalries and family stories. Oddly, the most outrageous tales of childhood mischief made her eyes fill with tears. Delores was right. As always, something smelled fishy. Threaten her until she tells the truth about her brother. Comfort her until she tells the truth. Comfort her? Damn! Your brother's time and space was, I began. She burst into tears. What is it? I asked. Not here, she whispered. Meet me at Dock 3 at 1 p.m. tomorrow. With that, she tossed a bill on the table and fled, her hair bouncing on her back. Said Petrus. Trap? Trap, I said. Will you go? He asked. Hell yeah, I'm gonna go. Of course I'm gonna go. I'm going, said Sharon. Obviously. No, I don't need you there. I'll be fine. Would you like to take the lead, or shall I fight Sharon for it? Peaches asked me. I rolled my eyes at both of them. I don't expect anything less, Ron and Peaches. Since when were you an action hero? He sobered up for a moment. Since scientists started getting killed. Plus, action heroes get the best scars, said Sharon. Peaches winced and unconsciously turned away from her. So which of us takes the lead tomorrow? I'll do it. I wish I never got neither of you wrapped up in this. We ordered room service and had an incredibly awkward conversation with the beautiful golden-eyed woman who brought us our ravioli. Oh my god, there's golden eyes all over the place! By the time we'd convinced her that we were genuinely thrilled at the idea of Santiago coming to Rome, our dinner was cold. I ate in silence, lost in thoughts of whether Santiago or the missing sun would cause more harm. It all depended on how long the sun was out. Would it come back at all? I hoped that Yumi Kid was right, and we weren't completely doomed yet. I wish they had durian. No, you don't wish they had a durian. No, you don't, said Peaches with a sigh. What on earth are you talking about? I said, realizing the others had been talking. I know what a durian is. No, you don't know. No, not here. Not here. It's a gelato, of course, said Sharon. Glad you were paying attention, you wallaby. I felt suddenly misty-eyed. Santiago wasn't the only person with an overwhelming personality. Sharon was bonkers, but in a good way. She'd never give up or get discouraged, and I needed that. Oh my god. So, she said with a mischievous glint in her eyes, now we've got tomorrow sorted. What'll we do tonight? Prepare. What do you have in mind? I want to know what she has in mind. What do you need? What we need, said Sharon, with that all too familiar glint in her eyes, are spies. I said cautiously. People to tell us what Santiago's doing, she said. Don't we have the internet for that, I said. Maybe if you only want to hear about the mayhem when it's over, she said. Don't you think it'd be handy to know in advance? I sighed. That sounds like good sense, but I know you just want to be involved in mayhem. She grinned. Alright, but how would we recruit people quickly when we don't even speak Italian? Speak for yourself, said Sharon. It can't be that hard, said Peaches with a shrug. It took me a moment to realize he wasn't joking. How many languages do you speak? I asked him. 5.5, he said. Maybe 7 if you count related dialects. He tapped on his phone before demonstrating his linguistic skills by swearing in several languages. Scheiße, puto, pendejo. I don't think pendejo is really a curse word. I think it might be dumbass, actually. What's wrong? I asked. It's the internet, he said. It's much slower than it should be, and unfortunately, I think I know what's wrong. It's the satellites, I said. Even more are gone now. There's more, said Peaches. The water levels are falling because of the cold, creating ice at the poles. That's exposing the underwater communication cables, and with all the animals going crazy, they're probably damaging a lot of the cables. Are we going to lose the internet? Sharon asked, looking genuinely horrified. Not completely, said Peaches, but it'll only get worse, and phone lines, of course. Sharon grabbed her phone and once it called Chrissy. I will teach you some Italian, teacher. Thank you, Modi, I said, trying my best to sound enthusiastic. How will you cope with reduced internet? My primary functions will not be hampered. I am very clever. That's reassuring, I said. Oh no, Etienne, what if we lose contact completely? I shall attempt to contact Mr. Etienne at once. I've successfully contacted Mr. Etienne. Yes! Yes! Mr. Etienne, I said, are you alright? I'm fine, but why are you calling at this hour? And since when was I Mr. Etienne? I laughed in relief. I was just worried we'd lose contact because of the internet slowdown. Modi always calls you Mr. Etienne, and I guess I just stuck. Please don't give me a nickname you picked up from your watch. I am not a watch. Did you just interrupt my call? I'm sorry, Modi. Does this mean I can give you a nickname? Sure, he replied. I really get to choose, I said, suddenly drunk with power. Sure, said Etienne, within reason. Alright, I said, you maintain veto power. Go on then, he said, laughing, you're making me nervous. If he was in Indonesia, said Peter, speaking up in a huddled conversation with Sharon, we abbreviate Etienne to Edo. Edo! Who's that with you, said Etienne. A friend, Petrus, I said. And Ron, said Sharon with an evil grin. Now the suspense really is killing me, said Etienne. What have you and your infamous friends come up with? Edo. How about Tintin? Edo! I want to call him Edo. Edo! Etienne blew out of breath. Sure. Dang! You're not, you mother! I bit back an apology and let myself smile instead. He couldn't see my face after all. About Santiago, he said, bringing us back on a serious topic. Please tell me you're about to leave Italy. Even over here, I'm seeing golden eyes everywhere. But everyone knows Santiago's in Rome. Soon, Edo, I said. What? He said. I raised my voice. We definitely plan to leave Rome ASAP. What? I can't hear you. Are you still there? You better not be playing a joke on me. Can you hear me? I asked. The line went down. Fuck, he couldn't hear me. I'm sorry, teacher. We will need to converse with Mr. Etienne another time. I rubbed my eyes, surprised at how frustrated I felt. I didn't have many true friends, but Etienne was one of them. Damn! Are you alright? Sharon asked. I didn't realize you and the Canadian hottie were an item. What? We're not. At least I think we're not. Why? Do you think he likes me? We're not an item. I'm just edgy. I'm not. I knew it, she crowed. I saw you making bushy baby eyes every time you so much as mention him. Oh, shut up, I said. If you say a word to him, I'll have Modi remotely erase all your data. She fluttered her eyelashes. Aren't you a big, scary bunyip all of a sudden? I would never harm you or your dad, Miss Sharon. Modi! You're not helping! Modi, you traitor, I said, aghast. Luckily, you have Etienne on your side, Sharon said, laughing. I hope Mr. Etienne returns your affections, teacher. I don't have affections! I slapped my forehead. Stop this nonsense. Both of you, we have a cult leader to follow and a missing astronaut to find. Oh, God. You're right, of course, said Sharon. I'm going to make some friends. You never know what you could sniff out if your alcohol tolerance is high enough. I nodded. And I'll... Teacher, Miss Montague's calling you. Oh, no. Just tell her that you just been in the hospital and you almost died. How? I blurted out. Weren't the phone lines just down? She also has a Modicon device. Oh, can I connect wirelessly like that? Without the phone lines? Can I do that? Oh, I said, how does that help? Modicon devices are excellent learners. Learners? I narrowed my eyes in suspicion. I had a bad feeling about this. Modi, what did you do? I asked. I taught Miss Montague's Modicon how to use emergency communication channels. I was about to object to Modi's illegal activities when Sharon spoke up. That's settled then, she said. I'm getting one for Chrissy the second we get a few minutes of working internet. Answer the phone. We're about to answer that. Putting you through to Miss Montague now. Thanks for calling me with all those health updates, said Delores. Huh? I didn't know you cared, I snapped. Well, I do. What? Dang, maybe I should have called her. Dang! There was a long pause. I'm concerned for all my employees, Delores said stiffly, sounding embarrassed. Fine, I said. Is that why you were calling? I feel like I've been stomped on by an elephant, but otherwise fine. Jonathan, he said, the supposed leader of the 100-Day Group, is displeased about the direction Santiago's taken his little doomsday cult. So am I, but I seem to be in a minority now. He's on his way to Rome now to speak publicly against all the murdering and so on. Oh, hell no, he's gonna die. That's a terrible idea. He'll be killed. Exactly. He believes the son will come back and soon. Says he's got a feeling and that his feelings have been right before, or close enough to take them seriously. Oh, this is bad, I said. This is very bad. Her voice softened. I thought you'd like to know. Why are you telling me this, I asked. What does it have to do with Luco Parmigiano? I call it Parmigiano. Parmigiano. It was her turn to pause. Nothing, she admitted. I laughed at her obvious discomfort. You do care! Shut up, she said, but I could tell she was grinning for a moment. Listen, I have an extraction team waiting for you a little way south of Rome on the coast. They have a ship to take you to Egypt as soon as you reach them. What? Dang, we getting out of here that quick? Etienne's in Cairo, smiling. I found myself looking forward to reuniting with the park warden. I shook my head. I shouldn't get distracted. I had a job to do, possibly the most important job I've ever had to do. I just need another day or two to confirm the Parmigiano cover-up, I said. Even when I try to help you, you can't do as you're told, she said. Thanks, Delores. How long will your team be there, and can I bring other passengers? Don't push it, she said. A few days, and maybe. She hung up, but it didn't feel like an insult this time. So she does care! So she does care! Oh, that's great. I like that. I like the feeling. The one I was trying to hit on this whole time actually cares about me, even though it doesn't seem like it. My hard-nosed boss thinks we should leave Italy now. Once we're done here, we have a way out of Italy. I vote we head for the docks tomorrow morning, said Petrus. I second that, said Sharon. Fine, I said, we'll do it, but no getting into trouble, okay? Sharon grinned, but didn't say a word. She excused herself to do what she called professional lollygagging. Oh my god. I went to bed. I'll be sleeping right now. Even hungover, Sharon was cheerful. She drank about a liter of espresso and was soon bouncing off the walls. We headed for the docks and quickly spotted several shady-looking characters arranged in pairs here and there, obviously keeping watch. I wonder if they're here to help Santiago or stop him, said Sharon, drumming her fingers on her bag. I'm gonna go sticky beak. Ron, wait, I said, but she was already moving off. Petrus and I had a little option but to follow her. Sure enough, the first pair Sharon accosted both wore yellow contact lenses. They stood to attention, perhaps assuming they were being tested, since the three of us were so obviously not Santiago's people. Who are you, and what do you want? Said the taller man. We're followers of Victor Santiago, and I can see you are too. They relaxed, which made me relax. It was good to see some nice stupid guards, unless they were faking it, of course. Come on, the tall one said. Let me show you something. His friend stayed in position while he led us to the water's edge. It was bad. The lichen-covered rings on the pylons of Dock 3 clearly showed the water's normal height and depth, and how far it had fallen in just a few days of darkness. Earth is freezing over, he said, folding his arms inside a jacket that he'd obviously purchased recently. I hadn't consciously realized I was automatically dressing more warmly despite what should have been mild Mediterranean weather. Victor Santiago believes that our planet will be saved through sacrifice. The Catholic Church has declared him a heretic. What do you think? I don't know if these guards are either dumb or if they actually are followers. Well, see, that's the thing is one life for the rest of humanity. That's a lot better. But that's the thing is Santiago's killing more people. He's killing he's killing scientists. Now he's just killing anyone. Do I want to? I'll just. It's true that single life is worth. You know, thoughtfully. That's very interesting. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna end it right here. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next video and peace.